this. Ow, I stepped on my head.
What?
Shut up. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of We Talking About. Today, we're talking about Season 7, Episode 1 of The Walking Dead.
The much anticipated.
Ooh, girl.
Much talked about and theorized upon premiere of Season 7.
So, going into this episode, before we talk about it itself,
right?
What did you think? Who did you think was going to die?
I had shifted to Maggie.
Okay.
As like my leading contender. I had eliminated several people who it turns out should not have been eliminated from contention, but I assume we'll get to that.
So
what about you?
I was thinking it was either Sasha or Rosalita and it was all because of Abraham.
Right.
I wrote them off as dead because Abraham was finally happy, but in hindsight makes 100%. Like he clearly should have been in that range too. Because him saying I want to have kids now. Yes, of course he should be dead. And the moment the episode started, so I'm not on record with this one for anybody.
Okay.
But the moment the episode started, I was like, oh, it's Glenn, and I flashed back to Comic-Con where he now is voice acting in that TV show, and I was like, he has another and it wasn't conclusive, but I'm like, he has another job, he could die, and then like I was like this watching.
When we did that the Comic-Con recap, I literally said that. I said,
didn't click until that moment for me.
No, but listen, I said, well, he's on that fucking Troll Hunter show, and you were like, yeah, but he plays the bully. He had like 2 lines. Doesn't count. No, he's not. And you were like, hell.
For some reason, it came at me so hard, because like it's kind of like when you talk about what ifs and hypotheticals. It's like I was like, sure, yeah, I would totally kill that guy. Blah blah blah. And then it's like that guy's coming at you like, what would I do? And now it was like real, and I'm like, he's probably dead.
Well, so let's talk then about like the people that like Glenn. We thought it was not because they pull all that bullshit with him almost dying.
Yes.
He was one of the first ones.
I said these things.
Yeah, we eliminated him as one of like the first people off the list, right? He was right.
I thought it would be a waste
after Rick and Carl, right? Because it would have been a cop out. It would have been dumb. It would have been a waste. It would have been all these stupid
Somebody
things.
explained it as no, Glenn is Jesus. And I said, what? And they're like, well, you see, he died, in quotes, when he falls by the garbage can. It's like, and then he's resurrected for a few days, and then he dies for our sins, Daryl's sins. And I was like, oh, he is Jesus. And he says, I'll find you.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
Me and Babs were talking about that. I'll find you thing. She's like, what does that even mean? I'm like, well, he'll find her in the afterlife. Or it was the ramblings of a man with no brain function.
He's like, well, it means that he'll find her in heaven, of course. Or pot B.
Because who knows how many things are misfiring and things. He could have been trying to say anything.
Okay, but more about who it's not, right? It was not going to be Rick. It was not going to be Carl.
Clearly not. And I had to argue with so many people that thought it was Rick, and I'm like, A, he's the main character. B, he Negan says, shut that boy up, or I'll feed his other eye to his father.
If anyone says anything, like, pull out the other boy's eye and feed it to his dad. And I'm like, you can't feed his eye you can't take his eye out or feed that eye to him if either of them are about to be pummeled into mush.
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense.
And it took a lot to explain that to some people.
It is cool if like Rick dies though. And honestly, later in the episode, when he was in some dicey situations, I was like, if they kill Rick here, that would be fucking awesome. But of course, they didn't kill Rick there.
They kill Rick, and then it becomes the Daryl show. And
who knows what it becomes?
Right.
It's fucking crazy at that point. You're like, what's happening? This is amazing. But so there's a bunch of other people there we've already kind of talked about. Real quick, though, like Eugene, Aaron, who no one even knows Aaron's name.
Eugene and Aaron, I thought, are not important enough to be the characters.
It wouldn't have mattered if they died at all,
and
so why would they have died?
Sasha and Rosie
right?
are not important either. Right. I only put them in there because Abraham is important, and it would have affected his character and given him some reason to really go fucking ham on some shit.
And I thought that, like, because we talked about it too, we had like a little, like, we were like starting to put shit together, and it was like, right, if it's one of those, then Abraham gets kind of like broken by it or whatever, and Rick is like, holy shit, my group, and there's blood everywhere, and then maybe Maggie miscarriages or dies, and then Glenn is broken, and the whole group becomes broken in this really awesome way or something like that.
But now it's in a whole different direction.
Now it's just the whole And right before we get to the actual episode that actually happened, we were at Comic-Con. We saw the sneak peek of the thing that was released like 14 hours after that.
Yes.
And we saw the scene where he's talking, "I just kill your right hand, man. Knock it right off there. Wait, what do you have? A hatchet?" Like all that. We saw that until he drags him into the RV and like does whatever.
Yes.
And we were like, Rick's hand's gonna be cut off. Oh shit! All this shit's gonna happen. Holy shit! Oh my. And we saw blood on his right side, and Maggie's on his right side, and the actress that plays Maggie, Lauren Cohan, cried at the fucking thing. I am now
I think perfect misdirection.
I now think that whoever cries next time is either completely safe from being dead, or they've like pulled another thing on us where now they are going to be dead.
Well, because the blood, we couldn't have predicted the blood flying from the bat like that.
And did you catch that when the blood hits Rick in the face, they hold on the shot for a second as if to say like, "Yeah, motherfucker, we got you. We fucking tricked you, bitch." It was like, oh fuck. I was so like, ah.
The best piece of acting in this episode is a scene of Rick's face, and he's like crying, like snot shooting out, and shit's happening. I'm like, he's an actor.
He is an actor.
I don't think that's digital.
That's not digital snot. He's been saving that up.
Yeah.
No, he is a fucking actor. There's been a lot of like, it's.
And the fact that he's British.
I mean, he's an actor.
He's acting just saying hello.
He's even British. He's such an actor. Fuck.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this episode. So the episode starts.
It starts with that sneak peek scene.
Yes.
So we're already by like minute 4 or something, we're like, well, we're in uncharted territory now. Shit. Like we're like watching the episode.
So it starts with Rick getting pulled away, so you don't even see who died right off the bat, right?
Right off the bat. Oh my god, fuck it.
So this is not really an episode as much as it is like a flashback and reveal of things. This is like an episode in the sense that like a clip show is an episode where like there would be like, a few minutes that are like the actual, like we had to film something, and the rest of it, even though it all is new to us, it's not actually like a rewind of older episodes, but it played out like a clip show.
The structure was like that.
Like the episode where everyone's locked in the freezer and they're like, oh no, we have to talk about things that happened this season.
There's an episode of Roseanne where they find like Darlene's pot and they go in like the bathroom to smoke it or something, and something happens and they get stuck in there and they're just in the bathroom for the whole episode. It's like just the adults. That was obviously what I think of when I think of this.
I think of Clerks the cartoon did a recap episode on episode 3. So they're just recapping like what happens in the first 2 episodes.
Oh, they're not recapping stuff that we haven't seen?
No, it's so good, and I think it was ahead of its time, that's why it got canceled. Anyway, so we flash back. We see Abraham is the one that gets.
Okay, well, I mean, they go for like a ride first, right? I don't know if we want to do the whole.
I just figured anyone who's watching
the whole
things,
thing, I just want to say really quick that while they're on that ride, they start to have like Rick's face and then flashing back to black and white quick clips of people and all that shit.
Like in the commercials.
And it's a fucking tease bullshit thing. I'm like, stop remembering things and just show me what happened. Because I said like, ooh, we're in uncharted territory now, and I expected like the camera to show me what happened, and it took so long for everything to happen.
I love that later when they have the memories of things that like could happen.
Yes.
And it's like everybody getting killed by Lucille.
Because they had to do like one quick take of at least the first hit for every actor or something like that, and I'm like, okay,
I would
guys,
like to
good
believe,
job.
and they didn't do this.
I know,
but I would like to believe they filmed all of those as if they were the deaths, and no one knew who died. That's how you should really do it.
Had they actually filmed the entire beatdown for every single person, that would be amazing.
And it's like, all right, so whose contract's not renewed?
Right. So who wants more money now?
That's a technique. That's genius.
That was the rumor. So like after the finale or like the one before or something like that, whatever episode this happens, and they at the end of season 6, somebody came on Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick and they said like, yeah, we don't even know who's dead yet. It's very stressful or something like that, because they had filmed it like a long time before that, and they had it picked up for the new season yet. And like the rumor with right here at least, if not online, was like, I wonder if this is coming into play, or they haven't even decided yet. And they're like talking to people and being like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you see yourself on the most important show on television, or dead?
Yeah. Now, I wonder though. Do you think that the actors that left had anything to say like about this? Do you think they wanted to leave? So like Glenn's been around since episode 2. He's been in like pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
Until now.
everyone who dies, whether it's a fake death or not or whatever, people that die go on the Talking Dead, which I watch, and I believe you don't really watch, right?
No.
So like, I've heard many people give that like sort of politician-y PR like speech, and it sounds like they're not like choosing. They're just sort of, they're like, yeah, so I asked, like, what's his name? Like, are you sure I have to die? I just checked the script again. I'm still dying. Are we doing this scene today? Ugh. And, like, they're sort of like, no or whatever about it. They're not necessarily. For major characters like this, I think there might be, like, a thing. But when they go on The Talking Dead, they're always hawking, like, Beth was like, I have an album coming out. And, like, Tyrese was like, I'm in a play or some shit. Like, they're always, like, saying some shit. And you're like, oh, I feel so bad. Oh, you should, Yeah.
Nothing will ever be as good as this for you. I'm sorry.
I don't think so, right?
But like, I'm trying to think of like, there are plenty of actors you could have said that for, like Rick's wife. You'd been like, after Prison Break, you'd have been like, you're never gonna be in anything as.
Was she in Prison Break?
She was the main female lead of that show.
I see.
You're like, oh, you'll never be in something as good as that.
Right.
And then like, this little thing called The Walking Dead came along.
You've had your run on TV. I hope you enjoyed it, bitch.
But the same thing you could say for Shane potentially. It's like The Walking Dead could have been the best thing for you, but The Punisher could honestly be better for him.
I would have said, just knowing what I knew of like the guy that played Shane, he was in Wolf of Wall Street, I think, and I was like, wait a minute, you're an actor. This character is very different from Shane, but besides that, he might have just done that forever. But then showing up as the Punisher and doing all that great work was,
Yeah.
So it's never over, I guess.
No. It's got to be really tough though, because The Walking Dead is clearly like one of the best shows ever made, received by the public.
It's gonna go down as like the list of what's gonna be in like a capsule we send to space.
Like
at some
it
point.
may not go off the air, like
ever.
No,
I know. Yeah, okay.
Like it has the potential. Your actors are young enough that it could be it could be a longest running show type of situation.
I actually wonder about that because like part of me for the last like. I've heard some people say that they don't watch the show anymore or whatever, and like every season for the last couple seasons, I've been like, why do I still watch this fucking show? What the fuck? And then I end up like watching it and being really into it again. So I don't even know how long it's going to last.
I don't think I've ever really checked out. I think I've always been totally into it, and I like it.
I always watch it, but I start to say I'm sick of this show drawing out, drawing this shit out and fucking teasing me and being a bastard or whatever. And then like a season ends and I'm like, well, I have to know what the guy on the horse is doing. What the fuck? What the fuck? And now Morgan is shooting again. I need to know. And I fucking end up watching more. By the way, Carol and Morgan not in this episode at all.
Yeah,
I'm interested in what's happening with them.
Super interested. So like, let's just
get back to the
continue talking it out.
Yeah.
So Abraham is dead. He's clubbed. He asks him to suck his nuts.
Suck my nuts, the biscuit and the pancakes. Who's there?
He told me to suck his nuts.
You hear that? No, he Jeffrey Dean Morgan, by the way, continued because we only saw like whatever we saw, right? But it was like amazing. Yeah. The whole episode, he's doing all this great shit
and
with these speeches and the way he says shit.
I really liked his character.
Yeah.
And
thank God.
A friend of ours, Dan, who was the only person I knew at the time who had definitely seen it, and I was talking to, did not care for his performance at all.
What did he say?
He didn't. He thought he was unbelievable and like unbelievable as a character. He's just being a bad guy for the sake of being a bad guy. And I said this, and I kind of think about. I was like, Dan, he really reminds me of like what I would be like in the apocalypse if 30 of my men were just killed.
Okay.
Like you go a little crazy, you have to do something, but like. I'm like I don't think anything he did was total, like maybe the way he did it is different than I would do it.
I like that you identify personally with Negan though.
Well, because
I didn't put this together, but I totally agree. No,
but that's you got to think like who is the bad? Everybody thinks somebody else is a bad guy, and to Negan, these people have done more wrong than he's done to them.
Yeah.
Period. And like they are the bad guys. And even if you just think of it in like a way you're good and you're bad thing here. Yes, Negan did kill 2 of his with a bat. That's kind of bad. But they killed 30 people while they were like sleeping. Like
I know.
They're ruthless murderers. Do not for a second feel bad for these people.
Remind me if I forget to get back to what actually happened with Negan and the believability. But I've been wanting to say that for a long time too. But we don't do a show about The Walking Dead yet. I guess we do now.
We do now.
Like fucking So, like, everyone was like, oh, no, it's so bad for them, and what's happening? And I'm like, they literally went and murdered these people. Like, it's not even, it's
off of hearsay.
Yes.
They did not even, like,
some guys told us that we think some guys that are with some guys that are not good guys are in this place. And, like, they show you the guys outside are kind of bastards, and you're supposed to, I guess, think, like, yeah, they're all bastards. But the guys in there, like, they're killing them, yes, in, like, their sleep. And you pointed out during some talk, I think, not on like a recording, several members of the group were members of other groups, and they were like, listen, I don't even know these motherfuckers. Just let me come with you. And they were like, okay, I guess. And, like, any of those people could have been like, wait, I'm just in here because some dude tried to cut off someone's hand, and I'm just here for that.
To survive in the apocalypse, you will take in with whatever you have to survive. And this is something that I think is, like, if you think anything that led you survive, is it at least 6 years, we can assume, since is each season a year?
They just said, I forget. No, it's not. It's
4 years? More? It's been years.
Yes.
I think we can all agree it's been years. And anybody that has survived years had to have survived somehow. Not everyone went into this as a Navy SEAL, but by the end, most people are equivalent to, like, a Navy SEAL, because just to survive on a daily basis, understandable, people in Alexandria had a sheltered experience. They didn't have the same thing. But if you were on the road for years, every day being a battle, like, in quotes, you're at war every day. Most people in the military do not have that many days of war. Can you say you were at war 2 years straight? No, probably not.
Yeah, no.
Do you have a kill every day for the last 2 years?
Right.
Probably not.
There's no off duty. There's no sleeping without worrying about waking up. What's going on here?
Like, were you on guard 24 hours a day every day? If someone touched you wrong, you're dead. Because a maim and you're dead. Like, it's not like it.
Yeah, these quiet. Okay, so no, exactly. And, like, like Rick's questions when they meet people is like, how many of them have you killed? How many people have you killed, right? And one guy says, like, none, and they kind of look at him like, no, you didn't kill none. Like, what are you talking? So, like, they even ask people, how many people did you kill? And, like, the one guy says, I had to do some stuff. Okay, why? And they kind of, like, explains it, and, like, the answers make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not looking for you to say that you've never killed anyone. They're looking for you to say, well, yes, and, like, it was a thing, and my wife, and I had to, or something, and then they go, like, okay, that makes sense.
And to make sure they're not just a liar.
Like, exactly. So, like, he's like,
I have never hurt nobody, never.
Well, and you could say, like, it's in Rick's, like, value system to not kill people unless they have to or something like that, but they have had to a bunch of times or whatever the fuck.
Yes, but leading up to this, they've taken a turn. They're now just guns for hire. They're like, okay, you'll give us food? Yeah, we'll kill every fucker in this room.
So they might be, like, a month or two away from being whatever, because Negan is like a mafia boss of the apocalypse. I get half your shit, and I'm going to threaten and, like, exert all this force, and that's not nice or whatever the fuck, right?
But you can't be nice in the apocalypse.
But, like, Rick and his group are on this trajectory now, like, because they just did, like, a mercenary gig now for food.
Yeah.
What's going to happen later? Oh, we got to do this again. Oh, the Hilltop's acting up. Listen, guys, we have a deal, all right? Like... Like, do not try my patience before I alter the deal and stuff. And then deals get made and more deals, and they have more territory and more people.
That's
and then
why
before you know it, Rick is Negan already, right?
None of this is out of the realm of possibility. And that's why I was like, I can identify with this guy. I feel like that doesn't seem crazy. That seems smart. Like,
no, and like
ruling through fear and showing of force is the best way to rule, especially in a situation where people think that zombies are the bad guys. Zombies are just like animals that are out in the way. I would be much more afraid of humans.
Yes.
Because
zombies are like
I can avoid them by being in a room, but a human will come into my room.
Well, zombies are like a natural disaster. They're like a hurricane or a flood or something like that. You can manage it. You have ways, and you understand how it works, and it's going to keep working that way, right? Humans will, like, plot against you and, like, slowly worm their way into your ranks.
A zombie's not going to lie. A zombie always wants me dead.
It's just doing
a human
its
can
thing.
go in for a hug and stab you in the back.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that, to Dan's point, who's not here to defend himself, Negan seems to enjoy all this violence in, like, a psychopathic way, which I sense you'll also be able to identify with, or no? I don't know. Because everything you've said,
his level of violence
everything you've
said
makes 100% sense, except the part where it's like, "Woo! Look at that! Yeah, motherfucker!"
But that could be like, you know how people have like a defense mechanism of humor, like someone's cracking jokes at a funeral type of person.
Right.
That could be him. And I'm sure we're gonna get episodes that humanize him, much like we got episodes that humanize the governor.
While I was watching this episode, I was actually like, because like, yeah, they did lay it on pretty thick, and I would say, like not that he's unbelievable or like incredible, to use those terms literally or something like that, but it was unbelievable. It was incredible. It was like, holy shit, this is amazing, this guy. And yeah, we're gonna see now what he does when he goes back to his bunk and like whatever, like drink something or smoke something, and is just like, and like takes the scarf off. Now we're gonna see like him off duty and how he acts and what he does. I hope.
Or
I hope
next
he's not
episode
just a cartoon.
we won't see any of them. It'll be all Carol and Morgan.
They will probably do that just because that's how this show works now. But I mean, like you're saying, during the, because like the governor, who compared to this guy is like whatever, they gave him a whole little arc where he was wandering the earth and helping some family or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So there's going to be something here before Rick inevitably kills the governor, the Neganator, before he like inevitably ends up like actually killing him or helping someone that kills him or something like that. You're gonna have that same weird conundrum where you're like, well, now I kind of see his point, and I see why he's doing this. Maybe he's got a woman or a kid or something else is going on, and he's doing it for them or something. So maybe not. You've read the comics.
I stopped right before Negan. I actually don't know, and not that I think any of this is happening in the same order as how things happened in the comic anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't have any clue as to what's going to happen because I stopped just before this happened.
Right. But like you said, things have been like it might have given you
my
like a
picture
clue.
though. If I had to guess what would ultimately happen, there's going to be some third party of bad guys. And maybe even worse than Negan, and like a war will start, and they will just kind of like ride the middle, and then like try to just survive by killing the defeated people or something.
Yeah, we saw that tiger in the sneak peek thing, or like
I don't know. I'm like, is that part of Negan's group? Is that some other dude? We'll see what that is.
For some reason, I feel like that's part of the group that rides the horses and like the knights and stuff. It could be another group though, right?
Was not the guys on the horses? Weren't they just part of the Hilltop?
I thought they were like whole different people we hadn't met yet. Who were...
Oh, I thought that when they saw like the spear or whatever, they're like those are Hilltop people.
Oh shit, maybe. Fuck.
Aren't they all like on horseback and like running like?
Have we seen any horses yet? I didn't think we had.
I just thought they lived in like the old stone house town.
And they were wearing like weird full body armor. Maybe I'm making that up. We don't do any we have a policy against fact checking on this show.
It's true.
But no, there's other people out there, and that was a thought too. Because honestly, and we'll just get this out of the way now before we finish the episode, I guess. But like, I'm concerned almost at like how much of this we're gonna get. Is it going to be like the whole season of like we're doing stuff for Negan, wait for Negan to come back? Negan's not going to like that. Okay, just lie low, don't tell Negan. You hiding something from me? Oh, no, man. And just bad fucking Negan back and forth.
Predictions abound. So there's no way that even in her injured state that Maggie's going to let that slide. Maggie is going to do some shit. She already said that she wants them to start a war, and they're like, we can't win a war. You're out of your goddamn mind. But
crazy, bitch.
She is certainly going to try something. She's probably going to fail. But she's certainly going to try something. I can't imagine a world where she doesn't.
She's going to try to get the group to do something? Or
No, I
she's
think,
gonna try to do something alone?
if it means she has a fucking shrimp fork and her teeth, I think she would try to kill Negan.
Right.
I'm assuming she was a gun.
Gonna be,
but
okay, that's going to be rough.
Just because shrimp forks are hard to find in the apocalypse?
Yeah, no.
You'd think they'd be everywhere, because what are you using them for?
Right.
But
you can end up with a salad fork somehow. You don't even know anymore. Unless you see them next to each other. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, but I'll assume she'll definitely try to kill somebody.
Huh.
I.e. Negan.
I wonder with her sickness what's going to happen with
that. We'll see how long that even lasts.
I hope it doesn't just go away randomly.
So it was weird, like I didn't understand that whole thing where Sasha's like, I'll take her. I'm like, what are the rest of you guys going to do? Are they going back to Alexandria? Like,
I don't even know where they put the bodies, who took the truck, where they went.
It looked like Sasha and Maggie were walking, and the rest of them were going to leave.
Okay. I don't know. I assumed that she wasn't really going to take her, and they were going to walk a little bit, and she was going to fall down, and they're going to be like, okay, bitch, you're absolutely right. Let's go back.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure who ended up where. Rick took the RV. I don't know where, like, who else is in the RV. I guess no one else. It's just him. Like, I don't even know. I got very lost towards the end about who's now doing what.
This episode, though, like, before I forget to say these things.
Yes.
Was super emotion filled, like gave you the feels,
yes.
Like, and not even just like, oh, I'm sad I lost that character, like my heart was racing at one point, and that point was the Carl arm part. So Negan takes the belt. Who did take the belt off? Did they take it off of Carl or Rick?
Don't know.
I forget where the belt came from. It wasn't his. It was brown. It would have clashed with his outfit. He took the belt off and he wraps it around his arm. He goes, "Does that hurt?" He goes, "No." And he's like, "Well, it ought to."
It's supposed to, which is true. A properly attached tourniquet should be painful. It should be noticeably painful.
And that would just mean he'll probably bleed out. So
I think he tightened it after that and was just like, listen, I have a plan. Don't worry about it.
So he lays him down and he draws a little marker line.
And like to pun it out, they draw that out. He's like, Simon, you got a pan? And he goes,
yeah. And
right
he throws
here.
it and he catches
throws it. Like,
if he would have dropped it, would not have been as impressive.
It's like this whole, but like it isn't just like I'm drawing a line. It's this whole. And he puts the cap in his mouth and he's still talking like, "Look, there's gonna be something." And he's doing shit like that. And you're just like, oh.
So he's like, all right, and like Rick's like, no, please, because he knows what's coming. He knows like that hand's coming off, and he's like, don't cut his hand off. You can cut my hand. So I'm not gonna cut his hand off.
I'm not doing anything.
You are.
Yeah.
And like Rick is meltdown mode, and he's like, you better do what I say. He's like, boys, put the guns up, aim them right at the nose, so they're really bloody. And then he's like, don't make me count. All right, I'm counting 3, 2. And like Carl's was like, just do it.
When Carl said, "Just do it, Dad," I was like, "Okay, shit." Like this is because up until then, I feel like Rick is kind of like, "I can't do that to you," but now he's saying, "Like I know we have to do this. Just do it." Or
you have no, but like these are the moments like you did not have a choice. These are the things where it's like, "Oh, all right, so we can give him our oxygen. We're underwater, we'll die, but he's gonna make me cut my foot. Who the fuck cares? We're gonna die." Like,
yeah, no.
So
at a certain point, you just have to write the whole thing off.
It's like, okay, yeah,
listen.
all of you die, or you lose an arm, and maybe he dies.
Yeah.
Granted, not a good option. Would not want to be in this position myself, but I would cut the arm off.
Right.
Which would be really unfortunate is if he's like, no, you are. And like, loads the guns.
And he goes, all right. And just
and I had just cut it off. He's like, because, if I had to cut your arm off.
I know
you don't want it off.
Please wait till he gets down to 1.
My
just in
thought,
case.
though,
yes.
would be, the anticipation is worse than it's not actually worse, but if it's gonna happen,
it's not true, but I think
no, I don't mean like the anticipation is worse than the act, but I mean like if your arm's coming off either way,
yes.
Do you want to wait for it or do you want it to just happen?
And that's the old thing of like, okay, I'm gonna pull your tooth, all right, on 3, good,
1, got it,
2, and just like immediately like in the middle of 2 or something like that, you just play it.
So that would have been what I did,
right?
And you would have lost your arm.
I would have liked Negan to catch Rick's arm instead of just tell him like stop or something like that, because he kind of crouches next to him and then he stops and you're kind of like, okay, good, fuck. And it seemed a little like, couldn't he have just done it and he wouldn't have? I was very like, fuck.
Well, I guess Negan thought is like, if it happened, it happened.
I know. Clearly
there's no
is not
downside.
I know.
Make sure to go on a diagonal so we have something to fold over.
Like
we got good surgeons. He'll probably live.
Like a salami slice.
Yeah.
So I think as we're recounting it, I'm realizing Dan's complaint is a lot of those like, aim for the nose so that when you do it, it just big mess and all that stuff. Like he's like saying all these things.
But like those things,
that's what I'm about to say is that those are the things that make this whole thing so effective.
Yes.
If you just said, I will kill everyone unless you do this. It's very like, well, fuck you. What do you mean? That's the whole thing. But he like draws it out. He speaks very slowly.
And
don't make me count.
Telling him to cut it on an angle, like the way to actually make it so we can save him.
Yeah.
Like giving you all the advice, the trimmings, the drippy delicious.
This like disturbing level of detail that makes it seem even more real and even more like you're in this.
I thought it was
hopeless
situation. It was great and like was honestly like, oh my god, he can't have one eye and one arm. That
was my whole thing. I'm like, this poor kid is fucking falling apart. And like we thought, like cut the hand off. He draws the line like here, I think, here-ish.
Yeah. Here, I'll draw the line.
All right, good. No, I need more arms that have lines on them. Yeah, kind of like just like if you cut off the part of my arm that's not in the sleeve, right? No, like this. Fuck you. Never mind. Moving on.
But yeah, this episode was dope. I'm definitely interested to see what happens next week. Is there anything I'm forgetting about this episode that's important?
Yeah, I mean, if we just
like he makes Rick get an axe and throws him out with zombies. But
okay, so like that whole segment was a little weird. He says like let's go for a ride. You're not sure what he's gonna do or show him or whatever the fuck.
It's a dominance show. That's all it is.
Well, I thought he might have to take him for a ride to bring him to a specific spot, but it's just this. And there were the wooden barricades there, so I didn't know if like we were supposed to like remember that place. Like, what is that place? Do we know?
That was the bridge. That was the first turn they went to that they couldn't get out of.
Okay.
But now I think they were on the other side of it.
Okay, right. So that was the same zombie hanging from the thing.
Yes.
And that's what we do to people that don't. Okay,
exactly.
Okay. good. Because part of me was like, wait, is this supposed to have special significance? Because he climbs up there and looks out and goes like, ah, and stuff. And I was like, wait, I don't know what's going on here.
That's the center of Alexandria.
No, I thought like,
it was Earth the whole time.
Yeah, I was like, is this the hilltop? Is this this? Is this that? Is this something else that I should like remember from last season to be like, upset by? Yeah, he says, get me my axe. Or he calls him Prick instead of Rick at one point, which I thought was pretty funny. And he says, like, that whole thing was about that look, but you're still looking at me the same way. And then that's why he does the whole thing with the arm.
Well, yeah, he needed him to be a defeated man. You have to, like, know, like, you can't win this. Do not even try.
And, like, literally, they have, like when Negan says, now that is the look that I was looking for, or whatever. It's literally like in a cartoon, like, this is angry, and then this is, like, the other thing, Does that make any sense? We're looking in there?
Sad.
Like, when his eyes are like that, and they go like this, and he's just looking all hopeless and stuff like that. Like, there was a very distinct look to go along with what Negan said, that's the look, or something like that, which I really liked, because, again, like, the acting and all that bullshit. That's the look.
Carl. It's played out so nicely. I feel so bad for Carl.
Well, and so somebody actually on the internet, I'll mention this in like a second, but some stuff like got spoiled for me in like the most hilarious ways, but we didn't talk about Daryl. They said, load him up, take him away.
So Daryl, right after Abraham gets killed, he punches Negan. He loses it, hits Negan, and that's why Glenn dies. But right from there, like, they were going to kill him, and he goes, no, you don't kill that. You keep that. You use that. I don't know, whatever. And he throws him in the van.
He said, you don't kill that until you try some or something like that. And I was like, is Negan gay or something like that?
Are they gonna eat him?
All right.
But they have him, and part of his thing to Rick, like, you're gonna stay in line. We got your boy, and we're gonna cut pieces off. No, actually, I might just bring him to you. Have you cut pieces off?
I know, which is terrifying and weird and super weird. Like on the show, I kind of get it, and I guess all that makes sense. But from like a meta perspective, I'm very much like, what does this mean for Daryl from like Norman Reedus's perspective? Like, is he just not going to be on the show? Is he going to end up back with the group?
I feel like they're going to have Daryl in like some sort of a Suicide Squad, and they're going to send him on missions and shit, and they'll be like, oh no, you're going to come back, or we're going to kill you boys. Like,
so are we just going to cut back to Daryl every now and then doing other shit? Like, how's that going to work? That's going to be
probably
really
with
strange.
Burnface and some other people,
Dwight and Simon. No, that's going to be really weird, though. I don't know if I like that. I don't want that to happen. I feel like he has to end up back with Rick's group somehow. I don't know how that's going to be. Because
Season 8.
Like, Negan's not the kind of person you can say, well, okay, now I have a little leverage. Let me bargain for something from you. He'll just start cutting things off of people, right? So there will never be a time where like Rick can ever say, well, yeah, but we need Daryl back to do that, so let's make a deal. Like, that'll never happen. So I don't know how he's. I'm gonna say he ends up back with the group at some point, but I don't know how that's gonna happen. That's crazy to me.
I think amidst a fight or something, he'll end up back there.
So everything has to break down at some point, right? So like this can't like be left to stand as it is, right? How long is this arrangement? Would you say like it's the whole season, right? Do you think Negan dies finale of season 7?
I would say he probably dies
mid-season finale, end-season finale?
An episode before the season finale.
Okay, so like episode 14? And then something
bigger happens on the last episode that makes you go, what happens next season?
What happens next? Yeah, I don't know. We probably go until the mid-season finale before the other entity is like introduced fully.
That makes sense.
And then the second half of season 7 ends up building to this final climactic fucking thing or something like that.
Oh, we'll have more predictions after we see next week's episode.
We have a lot to see. Let me just really quick say about spoiling or whatever the fuck. So my father spoiled this for me. I sent him an email about how, because he was asking, like, where can I find this to watch this? I don't have cable anymore or something like that. And I sent him some info on the sly or whatever the fuck. And then afterwards, I said, I usually wait until Monday night because on, like, the first night you can find a lot of, like, fake shit and, like, bullshit stuff instead of what you're looking for or something like that. So I usually, I haven't watched it yet. I usually watch it, Monday night is kind of like my routine or something like that. So you probably want to do the same. And then he like replies to my email Monday morning and says, "So it's Abraham and Glenn, right?" And I'm like, did you just what? Did you just spoil it for me? I just literally said that I haven't watched it yet, and then I usually watch it Monday night. And he said, "Lo siento, mijo," something like that. Instead of saying, "Well, that's just what I heard. Never mind," or something like that, he literally just said, "I'm sorry." In Spanish. We're not Spanish. I don't know what's going on anymore.
So I'm trying to find an episode to watch this. I'm looking for it to be on the internet streaming, and I'm literally looking for the links like with my eyes like aiming up because people are linking like video of the I'm like no. And I managed to find a copy to watch without learning anything.
But there's probably a YouTube video
on YouTube. I googled it today to look at it. And on YouTube, if you Google Walking Dead Season 7, it says Glenn and Abraham's deaths. And I'm like, what kind of sick monster does that?
But it's literally gonna say, right, like, how do these deaths impact the next season? No spoilers, but the picture will just be Abraham and Glenn or some shit like that. And you're like, you people are fucking animals. We didn't talk about Glenn has the eye sticking out and stuff like that.
That's the same as the comic. I saw a panel thing. I could see the same beat, like bam, cracked your head so hard your eye popped out.
Because Negan kills Glenn in the comic, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that sucks. All the predictions were right. But speaking of predictions, I ended up accidentally watching some videos leading up to this. I think after Comic-Con kind of whet my appetite, and I ended up watching some shit. And someone literally predicted, like, I don't think he's going to cut off Rick's hand. I think he's going to cut off Carl's hand. Or better yet, just make Rick cut off Carl's hand or something like that. And I'm like, is that in something? How did this person predict that? That's fucking crazy. And the one I randomly watched was the one that, like, almost happened. It had to have been leaked or some fucking bullshit. I'm very like, what? So the whole time, this whole episode, I'm just like, do I know everything? Are you fucking kidding me? This is horrible. Or, like, whatever.
I'm glad I knew nothing.
Yes. Well, it kind of soured my whole thing a little bit. But part of me, like, when it happened, it just sort of, like, underscored for me how much I didn't want those people to be the ones who died for all the reasons I already thought that they shouldn't die.
When Daryl punches Negan, the way Glenn is framed in that shot, it looked like one wide swing could just hit him, and I was like, he's going to get him right now. And it wasn't the same swing I thought it was going to be, but it did still happen in the same way.
No, and, like, when they... Yeah, there is a cut even after Negan starts talking and says, no, you don't kill that, or whatever. Like, when he, like, puts him back on the line or, like, whatever, there's a thing, and, like, Glenn is dead center frame while Negan's given, like, the part two, of the speech of, like, you might have been around a bunch of liars before, but I make good on everything I say. And he goes to, like, do his fucking thing, and you're like, oh, God! So beats people to death.
I think that's all the Walking Dead you people can handle talking about today. Don't die in a fire.